everyone. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at something I was reading about in the forum that I thought was very interesting, and that was using Apaches for the purposes of destroying S-300s or S-400s. So I said, well, I play a lot of DCS, and one of the things I'm always doing in DCS, of course, is flying helicopters and doing insane missions like flying up to 10 S-300 batteries protected by SA-19s up to wazoo and sitting there and plinking each and every one from an altitude of, I don't know, 6 feet or something along those lines. So I said, well, I wonder if that applies inside of a wonderful command over here. So I started playing and fitzing and actually discovered a really neat built-in feature that I did not know about that I'll share with everybody in a moment. Before I get too carried away here, one thing I do want to emphasize here is the relief layer in command, while it's absolutely incredibly excellent, is fairly granular. So a lot of the different things that I do when I'm operating like in a flight sim and taking advantage of each little teeny tiny nook and each little teeny tiny tree, you're not going to see that as having much of an effect. I mean, you're definitely going to get like macro things. Like you can see there's a pretty strong mountain range right here and obviously a very distinctive mountain range right here. But when you look at this area here, even though like in a simulator there's trees and stuff I could duck behind, I can't do that. This is basically a desert as far as the game is concerned. The only thing we have really to hide behind is elevation. So let's go ahead and take a look at our lovely little helicopter here. We're sitting here. This is an AH-64E. It's a very lovely, lovely helicopter. And you can see very clearly that I'm just slightly out of range. I just need to get just a little bit closer so I can go ahead and take my shot. Now, if I actually switch to the other team real fast, you'll notice I have no clue that Apache is sitting here hovering right now. I just can't see it. It's behind this little ridge line here, so it prevents it, which is a nice job, helicopter pilot. I don't know how I got that close. Now, one thing we can do, and now this is always kind of slick, is we can always click on the SAM battery, go up to map setting, hit lost tool, and of course we can switch this to SAM as observer. And we can see that our helicopter, he literally flew along this ridge line, and every single time the radar warning came up, they went, oh God, and ducked behind the nearest tree. So you can see in order for us to take the shot, we have to get to this square, which that's not a lot of room for us. What I'm actually going to do is I'll go ahead and click on our buddy again here. And oh my gosh, look at how close that's got to be. Well, that's going to be involved. I'd be amazed if we're going to be able to pull this one off, but we're going to try. So one of the problems we have inside of command, not a command, this is actually a realistic thing, they did a wonderful job modeling this, is the fact if I order this helicopter to start moving, you'll notice right now he's chilling at 50 feet. The moment I order him to move, what this helicopter is immediately going to start doing is he's going to jump up to 100 feet. Let me show you what I mean. Let's go ahead and press on the set auto button. Ta-da! I'm going to pause immediately because I'm about to lose a helicopter. So I popped up to 100 feet AGL when I started accelerating because obviously if you're traveling at 160 miles an hour, you don't want to run the risk of hitting power lines and trees, so you go up a little bit. Makes perfect sense. Watch this. Did you see it? Now I'm 50 feet above ground level. So they actually designed it so that helicopters traveling at a slower speed have a better low altitude performance, which is fantastic because it's actually very realistic. This simulates, the helicopter itself basically doing the little bob-up attack where it's going a little left and it's going a little right and it's trying to duck here and it's trying to duck there, kind of going behind each one of those trees as it desperately crawls to get itself in range. I'm basically going to need to alpha strike this thing as soon as I could fire. Give me everything. I'm just going to have to move this up just a teeny tiny bit. So again, my helicopter's staying as low as possible here. And you can see we just got into range. So what I can do here is I can actually order a hover. Now that I'm exactly in range, remember I'm staying super duper low, and I can actually order him to do a quick little pop-up attack here. So I'll press the F10 key. We'll go ahead and order up an altitude of, that's way too high. Let's try 200 feet. That should be plenty. He's going to pop up, and there goes the missiles. Now, if I were a smart helicopter pilot, I would get out of there. Go, 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 get out, 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 hover, 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 hover. Ignore, ignore, ignore. Because what he's going to do, he's going to go to automatic evasion mode, and that's going to cause him to kill himself because he's going to try to shoot away at high speed. Minimum altitude, hover, go. Down, 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 down. Get down, 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 get down. Oh, that's not fair. That missile would hit that tree so fast. So unfortunately, this missile rammed right into that ridgeline right there. So I'm not going to stress about that one at all. Let's go back to our helicopter buddy. Have you lost all that altitude I ordered you to lose? Yep, he's back down to 50 feet. I'll go ahead and order him to sneak very carefully away. Just go low, man, go low, stay low. 50 feet, man, 50 feet. Uh-oh, our helicopter's about to get crisp splattered. Oh! So as you can see, the pop-up attack was totally possible, and I was able to sneak all the way there thanks to that new loiter capability. But you can see it did not stop the S-300 with its arcing missile attack to basically go over the ridgeline and give us a bit of a surprise there, which is kind of unfortunate because I was kind of hoping that would work. So you can see immediately that even though, strategically that worked fairly well, and if I were flying a DCS, I'd probably pull the same maneuver. The difference being in DCS, of course, is I do one of these kinds of things and basically use each one of these little holes, get 50 feet away from it, and just hit it with my cannon. How would that work? What would happen is we'd have something that looks a little bit like this. So what I had to do is actually shove the S-300 and the S-400 in the worst possible place, and I'm basically hiding on the backside of this ridgeline here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock onto this one, and we're just going to let them have it as soon as we do our little pop-up attack here. So everything's been located and ready to rock. I feel so bad for this helicopter. Basically, I'm going to have to sprint as fast as I possibly can towards him, and as soon as I get to the altitude where the weapons can let loose, we can go ahead and start letting those weapons loose. But keep in mind, the S-400 here is immediately going to start firing at me, even though the bigger weapon to be using here would probably be my cannon. Oh, we got him! Oh, so did he. We're so dead again. Nope, I think we're going to survive this one. All right, I'm going to go ahead and order my Apache Garden to go ahead and hover here and destroy him at my leisure is the best way to say it. I think those are app quiz. And the S-400 got curse splattered. So what are our conclusions here? So the first thing we know is, like I always say, is that is an amazing system. There is just, wow, it's incredible. You can saturate it with all sorts of decoys. You can attack it with stealth weapons, and it just does a fantastic job. When we tried to sneak up on it, we couldn't because it was just a little too well placed. But you could see that we were able to get off a couple initial missiles before those missiles came down and arced down into our position and fried us. So again, a fantastic system. The second thing we saw, and I think that's actually probably the bigger thing to take away from this video today, is the fact that if you do have a helicopter and the altitude or the speed you're traveling, the altitude matters. If you use a loiter, you'll stay down at 50 feet. If you go up to cruise, it's going to make you pop up to 100 feet. If you go up to military, it's going to pop you up to 100 feet as well. So if you desperately need to be able to do this really dangerously careful, sneaky thing, you can always plop down to a loiter speed in order to hide yourself. Enjoy.